Ntale School.
So it's basically what? So it's about what?
This time, we are looking at aspects of media. We're looking at football coaching, refereeing, umpiring, netball.
But you didn't invite me. You were meant to invite me. You didn't invite me.
Edgar, this summit.
I saw you don't. That class was killer. So you.
Edgar, we have assessment classes and we have also exams at the end of the summit. By the way, in the afternoon, we had some practical assessments. Those are exams that we are supposed to be doing on a daily basis for a week. We are supposed to do these exams for maximum time of 48 hours before we are awarded our certificates, Edgar. I think this is a good initiative coming in there from the Ministry of Education and Sports and in conjunction with the government to help build the capacity, to help build this affordability of sports knowledge, sports science, and availability of sports equipped personnel in our region. And I think, Edgar, this time our representative Mr. Douglas Kabwejere has done this with an excellent recommendation. We hope that this class will not make this region remain the same, Edgar, because the turn-up is over 200, and we have had those ambassadors in this region failing to have accessibility to the knowledge, especially about sports science, sports coaching, sports refereeing, umpiring, and every other aspect of the game. Remember?
I had a friend, there's an athlete called Ngaiboko. He was a very good sprinter then. He was doing sports science.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Edgar, when it comes to sports science, we really lack a lot when it comes to the knowledge about that game. And Edgar, one of the reasons as to why Germany was successful in 2014, when they lost in 2006, you remember how they lost around somewhere in the semi-final? Now, they went back to the drawing board. They decided they are going to take an overhaul of the whole nation's regions in terms of capacity building. They went back to the drawing board. They went back to every district and got a number of coaches, especially when it came to football. They concentrated only on football. After 10 years that they had given it, they looked at all the capacity building students, sent them to the field, to every village, to every parish, and they trained young kids. They trained people who are interested. They scouted talents. Those days, we had the likes of Thomas Muller, Tony Cruz, Phil Plum, Emmanuel Noah, we had Bastian Swasteiga, we had there's also Emmanuel Noah, yeah. The likes were 12 by then. During that capacity building, those people I mentioned were 12.
Okay.
Minus Miloslav Klose, who was
Tony Cruz was also there.
Yeah, Tony Cruz was there. He was 11 by then. Minus Miloslav Klose in that campaign. Miloslav was about 21, I think. Only that he featured in that World Cup when he was one of the oldest. Now, that group that was gathered from that overhaul of capacity building, which they had given 10 years, came back through the ranks, through that capacity building overhaul. In 2014 in Brazil, they were 22. The average age of the 2014 World Cup winners was 22. That is what Federation and Ministry of Sports is doing. Edgar, Germany won the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil. You remember that Estadio de Copacabana goal from Mario Costa, who came on as a substitute in the 86th minute, and you remember how he helped the team. He was young by then. So this is one of the strategies that has been taken on in the whole world. As an example, most governments, most ministries of sports have taken the same example, leading to this process of capacity building and engaging these people who are sports personnel or involved in sports, so that they can evolve and make a change like Germany did, Edgar. That is how Germany won the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Remember what they did. One of the strategies they did, they brought the German conditions to Brazil 2 years before the World Cup. When they got that program underway, they built a hotel, a Germany-style hotel in Brazil. Actually, it was divided into two. Every player in camp with their girlfriend or with their family or kids also had to reside nearby that same hotel in the same environment. So they had to stay in Brazil. In fact, they stayed in Brazil, coped up with the environment. They learned everything about the Brazil style, about the Brazil weather, about the Brazil culture. So when they came on to play the World Cup, these young boys, these average 22-year-old boys, were able to cope up and deliver results in 2014. That's how Germany won the 2014 World Cup.
So basically, capacity building, you have nothing to lose. It's a win-win situation.
It's only a win situation, Edgar. And remember, we are
so you're there for how long?
Yeah, we shall be doing these assessments, and of course, before assessment, we have lessons. We go for lessons first in the morning, 8:30 to midday. Then from midday, we get 1 hour break. From 1, we go up to 6 in the morning doing assessments, both practical and theory. We are there from Monday up to Saturday.
Interesting. So how was the selection? How did it go? Was it a random selection? Was it what was the procedure to be part of it?
There was merit, that is one. And 2, there was participation in sporting events in the whole country. We have people coming in from Gulu, Arua, Nebi Pakwati. We have somebody coming in from Zombo. Edgar, that is as far as, yes.
So it's basically for the whole country?
Yeah, it's basically for the whole country.
It's just here, centered here in
and
Bara.
It has been given centers not only in Bara. We have one that is going on in Jinja, and another one going on in Mengo. Another one is going on in Chegegwa. But the selection is, if you are involved into sports, you have been taking part in sports development campaign in this country, you were selected. And 2, you had to register. There was a process of registering and a process of selection. That's how we came up to have about 200 students attending classes and attending exams at Ntare.
That's just for you. He's of course adding on whatever he knows as far as sports is concerned through the capacity building. But let's suppose we continue.
Edgar, we had action yesterday. Mbara City had visited Bombo, the grounds of military. The grounds of those military men. Edgar, it was a draw. Spoils were shared. It was a stalemate of 1-1.
The man of the match was our player, Mbara City. I saw Matthias posting that guy.
Edgar,
I was rushing.
Edgar, I have to tell you something. Having had a series of losses away from home, Edgar, Mbara City has now gotten a point away from home, especially with scoring. We have always been getting those. We have always had those draws, 0-0 without scoring. But surprisingly, Chitegenyi has had an away goal this season after all these games. That means the team is actually improving. You know, Chitegenyi also scored for us. Those are the pictures that were got from Kacheka on the other day when they beat KCCA. In fact, Edgar, that goal has been cautioned. That goal has actually been quoted to be one of the most controversial goals Chitegenyi scored. But it was a clear goal because that ball deflected from Ben Chan. Why
are they saying it's controversial?
Because they have been quoting. Most of the journalists and most of the reporters have been quoting the goals that have been cancelled in this season against big teams. This was one of the goals that we scored against KCC, one of the big shots in the game. And there was a goal that was scored against Chara when we were playing URA. It was also cancelled out simply because of offside goal. And there was also a game between Chitara and Vipers where a goal was also cancelled in the same manner. But this goal was also involved. It was also included into those number of goals that were actually questionable. But that goal, I can tell you, I can guarantee you, it was genuine simply because there was a deflection of that ball. Ivan took a shot and it was deflected by Obenchan, whereby Henry Chitegenyi, who was earlier in an offside position, came to pick this ball and shot at an empty net, Edgar. We had also some other games from parliamentary, you know, the East African. Yeah, so you know the East African.
But the good thing was we won netball. I saw results
everywhere.
Our deputy speaker was playing golf
everywhere.
That
man is not a joking subject. We saw a tweet coming in from FUFA. They actually tweeted. Their tweet was going like, "Congratulations, Uganda. 0 Rwanda, 12 Uganda. Outstanding performance. That was a tweet coming in. That was football.
That was football.
We beat Rwanda 12-0, Edgar. Remember, that's the tweet, Edgar. Remember, earlier, we had comments coming in from South Sudan who were saying that Ugandans.
South Sudan to have a netball.
Yes,
Uganda. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the netball, Edgar. But leave alone the netball thing.
But football, who scored? Football.
All those guys.
Wasn't Sereko there?
Honorable Sereko
was Sewanyana there?
Honorable Basalirwa, Honorable Putin. These guys scored. For fun, you can imagine what's going against. And Rwanda is one of the countries that has actually laid strategies when it comes to football. Everywhere, Edgar, Rwanda has taken an initiative in every age category. And Rwanda was seen. It was actually expected to be one of the most dangerous teams. And Edgar, we saw Rwanda succumbing to Uganda. 12-0. That was a record, Edgar. The president, Honorable Moses Magogo, actually took the show when he assisted over 6 goals. And remember, he was playing in midfield. This was an interesting game, Edgar. We got some pictures coming in there.
You bring us.
Yeah, I'll bring you those pictures. Those are some of the pictures, Edgar, coming in there. Yeah. You see that money? You see that money?
But anyway, sports is good, by the way. It's interesting.
The parliamentary team, Edgar, plays some massive football.
Is netball. I think they are netball. Konka, Honorable Mpaka is the captain of the basketball.
The basketball
team.
And
they will basketball. I think
we got those pictures. The Uganda MP squad. We have those pictures. We actually can guarantee you that this squad was
let's
a killer.
Get to see some of those pictures of legislators in Rwanda. They were playing.
Those are the pictures.
That's the football.
That's the football team.
Photo, and those are the gentlemen. Smart as there. Yes. The captain is our FUFA president.
Yeah.
Putting on whose number is that one?
That's
in Manchester
21.
United.
It was formerly put on by Ander Herrera. This time I think Anthony.
It's Anthony's number.
Yeah.
So Magogo Awagera team.
Man, I will not talk about that.
Okay, that's it. And that they are looking nice. And we also have.
You can clearly see Honorable Sereko in shirt number 9.
Sereko is a football player. I got a new says you was there.
So Honorable I have not seen Sewanyana in those pictures, and I did not get information about Honorable Sewanyana. But you should have seen.
They no longer have that. But Sewanyana and Sereko, and of course Magogo, some other MPs that well with you.
Away from that, Edgar, we have the fixtures for the Green Park Premier League. It's a tight one this time. You know, we have about 27 teams that registered for the Green Park Premier League. Sorry? Yeah. They called you? Edgar. I'm very sure, Edgar, if you go back to that goal before training again, this time you will not be spared. The guys will be hitting you like nothing. No, they are not lying. But Edgar, I encourage you. You should go there because Edgar, you have that. Those guys will be hitting you. They'll be giving you those hot shots, Edgar. Yes, he's there. Even Freedom is there. Edgar, if Freedom cannot score against you, that means you are competing with Onana. Then you are competing with Onana. The Green Park Premier League is coming, and today
there's that league, the league games.
2 games actually. Abozo FC is taking on home team, and Star Medical Center is taking on TAF today. Later at 10 p.m. in the evening, and the game of Abozo will be kicking off at exactly 1800 hours GMT. We think that will be at around 6, Edgar, but this has actually come to our nerves simply because we have not had a series of games being played in the last month, that is November, October and September. But when it came to December, the fixtures are compact. The fixtures are piled up, Edgar. From that game, we shall also have some other games there. Machete Boys will be playing on Hayes International at 2200 hours GMT, and Desert Boys will also be taking on a Corporate Sunday Special. Kacheka team will be taking on Sixers and Jack. You know Sixers, the way he loves football, Edgar. Sixers, you may think. Anyway, I will not comment. Mbara Corporate Club will also be taking on X-International, and Abagiga will be taking on Enono FC, while Machete Boys will be taking on Abojo. Zone FC, this is a team of interest. Zone will be taking on Beijing Real Estate. Beijing, we have players from King of Kings and GNTV who play for Beijing. We have Waswa, we have Abi, we have Kaboy. Those players who play for Beijing. Last game out, they were beaten, Edgar. Gistband beat these guys of Beijing Real Estates 3-1, I think. 3-1, no, it was a 2-0 scoreline. 3-1 was the next game, Edgar. We have our boys who represent us here in the Green Park Premier League, but they were beaten. Waswa, Kaboy, and Abi. These workmates of ours, they were all beaten. We have actually some news coming in from CAF Awards that were held in Morocco last evening. We saw Victor Osimhen winning the Player of the Year for men. Ediga, Victor Osimhen was on hot form, we can confirm, at Napoli last season when he helped them win the first title in 30 years at Stadio di Naples there in Napoli. Victor Osimhen scored about 26 goals in Italian Serie A, helping them win the Italian Scudetto for the first time in 30 years. And by the way, this was the first win they had, the first trophy win they had at Estadio Armando Maradona Stadium, as they renamed it after the death of their icon, their hero, Diego Maradona, the Argentine, who helped them also win Italian Scudetto in the 90s, Edgar. So Victor Osimhen, a Nigerian who plays as a center forward, that is a striker, number 9, he helped them win the Italian Scudetto, qualify for the Champions League, as well as helping them score more goals, because he gave them assists in numbers of 12, Edgar. 12 assists, 26 goals. Victor Osimhen was on hot form, Edgar, I can confirm. Now, he has been voted the best player of the year in men's category here in Africa. The CAF Awards took place in Morocco, and we expect to see much more coming in the next year, because we had nominations for our own Sandra Nabweteme and Fauzia Najemba, Edgar. We saw them being nominated. Sorry, it was actually Fazila Ikwaput who was nominated in the best women's player of the year. No, Sandra Nabweteme wasn't. It was Najemba and Fazila Ikwaput. Your favorite was, actually she was down for the whole year. She had that nasty injury, that nasty knee injury, but we wish her she recovered. Actually, I saw her posting on her social media trying to do rehabilitation. She recovered. I can guarantee you she recovered, and she'll be coming back. Not yet, because she's unattached at the moment, having had her contract in ISTB there in Macedonia gotten expired, and he is trying to get back, Edgar. Okay. We think she's going to recover very soon. Edgar, we have also some fixtures coming in the finals of cricket. You remember I told you about the ICC T20 World Cup qualifiers for Africa, and Uganda is hosting this edition at Entebbe Cricket Oval. We beat Rwanda by 6 wickets in our first game, Edgar, and we are topping the group with 2 points after that one game. But we have some other fixtures coming in there for you. Uganda will be taking on Malawi on 13th. I think that will be tomorrow. It will be at 10 a.m. at Entebbe Cricket Oval. Then later on 15th, we shall be taking on Mozambique. I think this will be our chance. If we beat Malawi, that's the only test that stands in our way. If we beat Malawi, then we are good to qualify, because Mozambique does not give us loads of challenges. Mozambique is kind of weak. Elsewhere, we also saw Asisat Oshoala. You know that Nigerian who plays at Barcelona, Edgar? That girl is bad news. Girl plays like a man. Girl is excellently skilled, we can say. Asisat Oshoala there also winning for a record time, 5th time African Player of the Year category of women, Edgar. Asisat is a no joking subject. I think Asisat Oshoala should be shown to you guys. We have a picture of Asisat. We should see that picture. Asisat Oshoala. We should see that picture, and the CAF Awards. Some pictures coming in from CAF. That's the girl, Asisat Oshoala. Man, this girl is bad news. Anyway, away from that, we also have to talk about the Chelsea form, Edgar. Chelsea is one of the teams that we expected to to be one of the teams revamped. We expected that change within the guard when they brought in Mauricio Pochettino. We thought everything was going to change. We thought he was going to transform. EDGAR, there are rumors that Mauricio is about to resign. Those are rumors that Mauricio is about to resign. And you remember, I told you about the rumors of Manchester United wanting to replace Erik ten Hag. That story aside, Chelsea beat Tottenham in the other game 4-1, but was also beaten by Newcastle 4-1, and now Tottenham beat Chelsea 4-1. You look at the sequence of those losses. These are giving sleepless nights to Mauricio Pochettino, and he's looking at how he loses to London opponents. The way Mauricio loses to London opponents, which is one of their primary targets to win against their London rivals, that's Arsenal and Tottenham, EDGAR. Trust me, if you cannot win those derbies, then you are bad to go. Away from that, EDGAR's favorite team. EDGAR's favorite team is in hot soup because they are going to play against Bayern Munich. In fact, this is a do or die game.
Is it tonight?
Yes.
What time?
A do or die, EDGAR, at 1100 hours here in East African time. EDGAR, a do or die game. A game against Bayern Munich needs you to win or pack your bags. Remember, from this game, Manchester will be taking on Liverpool. We have seen some mockery. We have seen some troll on Twitter. Actually, not only on Twitter, but all social media handles. EDGAR, Erik ten Hag is looking at only the game against Liverpool. He's not considering the UEFA Champions League game against Bayern Munich, and the team wants to qualify. He was hard. EDGAR, he was actually hard talking to some journalists from Sky Sports, saying he will target for only that game against
Azanda Mtogwanyu is calculative.
EDGAR, I'm sure.
But I think, truth be told, is that Manchester United is not playing well.
That's the truth. They're not playing well. And the reasons as why they're not playing well.
One, the manager is not selecting the team very well. And I have even a feeling that the players are losing trust in him.
Already, EDGAR, I can guarantee, I can confirm to you. I can confirm to our viewers, EDGAR, that Erik ten Hag has lost almost half of his dressing room.
Because Fernandes no longer believes in him, and of course being followed by his team. Fernandes has a whole bunch of team behind him. You see, I think it's a reason as to why he was even given that armband. Because it would be even
another tag of war.
So and senior players like Casemiro where I saw a tweet about Casemiro saying the team selection was lacking. And Casemiro, that Fred's departure was also not good.
It wasn't good at all. It was not good news to all the players, not only Casemiro, but to all the players.
That's what I'm telling you. So if you look at the people that he has sold, the people that he has, and the way he plays them, even these ones that he has, the way he plays them, people are not satisfied. If you look at what Ferguson was saying, and you look at what some of the fans are saying, people are actually complaining about that team selection. What exactly are you doing? This is a game against Bayern. You wait and see how it's like. He has this tendency of, these are my players. This is someone that's going to play. I'm not going to say he sidelines with some, but there's a way he favors some. As far as
true.
This one has to begin. Even if
he's on form,
he has recently realized that Rashford was not on form. But even before, even after that, Martial is also not so good. There's a way he plays that front three, those players, the way he plays them. As far as I'm concerned, it's not ideal. But anyway, let's just wait and see. But he's also a problem to Manchester United. Erik ten Hag.
Actually, the biggest part.
The team has lost morale. I am praying that the fans don't lose morale.
That's true. That's true.
Old Trafford will be like which ground should I say?
We saw a section of fans leaving the Old Trafford.
And that was the first time
beaten. And that was the first time this season. Actually, EDGAR, every coach who has had the fans leave him behind at Old Trafford has been sacked. And EDGAR, if Ten Hag survives this December, trust me.
No, how can he survive?
If Ten Hag survives this December, trust me.
You have Bayern today.
Liverpool.
Tonight you have Liverpool.
Then on the weekend.
After I don't know which other game. Then on Boxing Day you have Aston Villa.
Yes.
So what kind of survival are you talking about?
If Manchester United survives, or if Ten Hag survives this December, we will be good to win the Champions League. Edgar, tonight in the UEFA Champions League.
But why did you say that? Be good to win the Champions League. So that they will have put trust in him to win everything.
Yeah, they will have put trust in him.
But by the way, I normally ask you this question, however much you try to dodge.
I cannot.
Who is Ten Hag's replacement to you?
At the moment, you can consider fresh minds. Zinedine Zidane has been on the bench and has been studying.
I think that guy rejected Man.
Because of the system the other time. Because of the quality of players that was at the team the other time. But I guess if you sack Erik ten Hag, Zidane is there. This man has been doing UEFA Pro for the third time. Leave alone somebody who has interest in studying this game for 3 consecutive times. That man was he's actually qualified at the level of UEFA Pro, but he went not once, not twice, but 3 times. Edgar, that man is acquiring knowledge, and you very well know how he transformed Real Madrid. You very well know how he is a winner.
Those Madrid players, to be no man.
The quality of Real Madrid at that time is the same quality that we have in Manchester United. They had Karim Benzema, who was not scoring in his first 15 games of the season. We have had Rashford, he has not scored in the first 15 of the season. They had Cristiano Ronaldo, who had gone 9 games without scoring, and we also have Bruno Fernandes, who has scored 1 in 10. Okay, fine. We'll talk about Ramos, but he used Rafael Varane. He used Casemiro. These are the boys who are at Manchester. He actually used
I don't think Varane was even playing because of Ramos. He's not playing. He's not there. No,
man. The way a coach is setting him up, the system, the style he's setting Rafael to play with Maguire is horrible. You cannot select Maguire and Varane today. Tomorrow you select Shaw and
I was looking at Varane and the Butcher.
Varane but
Martinez.
The way they are actually in the 10 games they played together, we only lost twice, and we only conceded 2 goals, and we won the next. Anyway, that's Manchester.
So tonight, Manchester United has a showdown against Bayern, and that game will be live Old Trafford at 11 p.m.
Edgar,
it's a do or die for Man U.
Yeah, it's a do or die.
Period. There's nothing like a draw. A draw can't even save us.
A draw cannot save us, my brother, because if you look at the table, you can know. Lens in Group B is taking on Sevilla. That will be at 20:45 hours, and PSV is taking on Arsenal. Arsenal has actually travelled to the Netherlands, I think, with a damage. With the damage, with the damage they got from Aston Villa this time you guys should, this time you should watch out for Arsenal. And in Group A, Manchester United will be taking on Bayern Munich at 2300 hours, and FC Copenhagen will be taking on Galatasaray. And remember Galatasaray, what they did to us. Napoli will be taking on SC Braga, and Union Berlin will be taking on Real Madrid, whereas Inter Milan will be taking on Real Sociedad, and Salzburg will be taking on SL Benfica. Edgar, our team Manchester is actually in the last position with 4 points, behind Galatasaray with 5, and behind Copenhagen with 5, then behind Bayern Munich with 13. That means, Edgar, that means if you beat Bayern, you will go to 7, and you will be on your knees to pray that if Galatasaray and Copenhagen draws, you will need a draw from that game of Galatasaray and Copenhagen, so that. No, it's
United is out, as simple as that.
I will not guarantee that, because they might beat Bayern Munich and Edgar.
Thank you very much, Jasper. And of course, he does this every other single day. He's actually on a very good course, capacity building, and we wish him the best, Jasper. You continue to do that. GenTV will continue. We'll have the hotspot later on. I've got the chairperson of C5 Barra District by the names of Chairman Didas Tawaro. He'll be joining us later, but apparently, we just go for a breather. Good morning.